Well, good morning or good afternoon, depending on what time you're viewing this. Thanks for inviting me to join you at your Veterans Day program. I'm always flattered and honored to participate in programs that honor our military, veterans, and their families, as well as those who support them. How time flies. It doesn't seem like it, but it's been over 10 years since I worked here at the Federal Center. Hopefully, I can come back in the near future and participate in a program in person. I would love to see some of my old friends and colleagues. On November 11th, America celebrates Veterans Day. An observance first started with Armistice Day in 1919, and then since 1954 as Veterans Day, when President Dwight D. Eisenhower expanded the focus to include all veterans in addition to those who served in World War I. For me and many of my veteran comrades, and to the Blue and Gold Star families, 11 November may be officially designated as Veterans Day, but every day is Veterans Day for us. However, on 11 November every year, it does offer many Americans a chance to reflect. Words like freedom, service, patriotism, and sacrifice are used to remind us of all those who served in the armed forces of this great nation. We are reminded that as a nation, we must continue to hold in the highest regard the service and sacrifice made by the brave men and women of our armed forces. Veterans Day gives us that chance to recall the myriad of contributions of our veterans, the fabric of American history and future. Before I go any further, afford me the opportunity to thank all of you for your service to this great nation. Regardless of whether you're a veteran or not, as a federal worker, you too are serving your community, state, and nation. Service to others is a way of life for all of you. What a great segue into the message I was asked to convey today. A message in which I call service after service, or continuing service. Although my message is primarily directed to our veterans, it certainly applies to all of you, even if you never served in the military, but are currently serving your nation as federal employees. One of the core values of the United States Air Force is service before self. To me, the spirit of service before self is to place service to others above your own self-interest. This core value reminds me that service to others is an important part of something bigger than ourselves. This is the case whether we are in or out of uniform, because as military members, civil servants, or veterans, we are important members of our families and of our communities. As veterans, the aspect of serving family before our own needs should be especially important to you. Many of you were deployed and served overseas, and many volunteers back in your communities helped you and helped your family and was taking care of them during your absence. I know when I was deployed to the Middle East, I was comforted by the fact my spouse belonged to a family support group. When we leave the military service or government service, I certainly believe serving others should not stop. As mentioned, there are many organizations that serve our veterans and their families, and these organizations would not exist without the contributions of volunteers. So doesn't it make sense that we pay forward our service? The Greek philosopher Aristotle once surmised that the essence of life is to serve others and do good. Although I personally choose volunteering and serving with veteran organizations or those who support veterans and their families, one could argue that almost all nonprofit organizations touches a veteran or their family. I personally witnessed that when serving as co-chair for the United Way, working food pantries, Food Bank, Charitable Union, Salvation Army, and many other organizations. You would be amazed by the number of fellow veterans and their families who utilize these many services. Or how about the youth? Children, grandchildren, youth, sports, reading at schools, scouting, Civil Air Patrol. I think you get the picture. If supporting the veterans and their families are important to your volunteering, one can almost choose any nonprofit And I would bet you can make a correlation between what you do and how they touch the life of a veteran and or a family member. When serving as United Way Chair, my message was crystal clear. One veteran, one person suffering from PTSD, homeless, cold, lonely, is one too many. I always thought of giving of one's resources, time, and money was like buying an insurance policy. You don't buy home or auto insurance hoping your house burns down or you total out your car. Insurance provides a bridge if you need one. I would bet that many of you have used or know someone who has utilized a nonprofit service organization. No one wants to visit a food bank or a soup kitchen or go to the charitable union for a coat. But if the need arises and you need to feed or clothe yourself and your child, these organizations will assist you until you get back on your feet. And they don't ask for any insurance premiums. Volunteering or serving others is one of the most rewarding things you can do. I can assure you, when you volunteer at a local VA hospital, a senior living facility, an honor flight for senior veterans, or even a local food bank, and you witness the appreciation and the love of those receiving the services you are providing, it will be one of the most rewarding things you have done. I sincerely believe that as a veteran, there are organizations and programs that depend on you as a veteran to specifically meet their objectives. I personally have started working with our shut-ins senior veterans at senior living facilities. You may have read it in the newspaper or seen it on the local news. The initiative to recognize those who are unable to get out and attend veteran programs that honor their service. As a member of the Hooligans Flight Team, we have flown flyovers in their honor, and I have spoken at a number of events ensuring they are recognized. Of course, all volunteers at these facilities are precious, but when a fellow veteran visits a shut-in veteran at one of these facilities or at the Veterans Medical Facility, the experience both veterans receive is priceless. Veterans are a part of a distinct culture with their own common language and experience. When veterans interact, their common language and experience can form a strong relational bond. The relationship created between a veteran has proven to be supportive for all involved. Veterans can assist other veterans in reminiscing or telling old life war stories. They love to relate and tell their military experiences. They may be in hospice care or suffering from a myriad of reasons, but for a moment in time, they forget their current struggles and reminisce of their time spent in the military many years ago. It was a significant emotional event in their life, and they enjoy spending time relating their stories with other veterans who too can relate to some of the same experiences. Sometimes experiences were not so pleasant and hard to talk about, but important for the healing process. A few years ago, I volunteered to help host the Vietnam Traveling Wall. It was called the Wall That Heals. I served on the committee, emceed both opening and closing programs. The wall was located at Gull Lake High School, and many volunteers gave students a history lesson on the perils of the Vietnam War and the meaning and importance of remembering the over 50,000 names on the wall. One evening, I was volunteering as the wall was open 24/7, so if veterans wanted to have private time without a large crowd, they could visit during late evening. During my shift, I was met by a Vietnam veteran who I had graduated from high school. We just talked a bit, and I could tell he was very nervous and anxious. I asked if I could help. He said he had tried to visit the Vietnam Wall Memorial a few times in Washington, D.C., but could not face seeing the names of his veteran buddies who did not make it home. But he so wanted to visit the names and personally give his respect and love to his fellow comrades. I told him I would personally walk the wall and we could stop anytime he wanted. We walked toward the section where the names were embedded on the wall. Tears fell, emotions were high, but slowly we got to the wall where the names were. I kept my friend in my sight, but I backed away so he could have his time with his buddies. It was truly the wall that heals. He did it. That one story made all the hours of volunteering worthwhile. The wall would not have been possible without the many volunteers who helped make it happen. Volunteering and serving can help gain confidence by giving you a chance to try new and build a real sense of achievement. There are so many opportunities to learn and build a new and rewarding experience, trying something different. Never in a million years did I think I would be at an event and have a pilot from Hooligan's flight team come up and ask me to be their narrator. Since then, I've had the opportunity to fly in the back seat of the T-34 World War II trainer, or be asked to MC veteran concerts by Lee Greenwood, B.J. Thomas, Matt Gerard, and others. Volunteering can have a real and valuable positive effect on people, communities, and society in general. Of course, I mentioned my Vietnam veteran friend who we helped visit his comrades at the Vietnam Traveling Wall. At a recent flyover at a senior community living facility, a veteran who had not spoken in months was watching our flyover and looked to the skies and witnessed the World War II T-34s and smiled and pointed and said, "Planes." This might seem insignificant to some, but to the staff, it was an amazing moment. Or the World War II veteran who could barely stand, but continually stood and saluted during the flyover and the song, "God Bless the USA." If you don't get a lump in your throat and a tear in your eye, you are not an American. Speaking at local schools and honoring the students and parents and grandparents. Honoring our local military at the annual Battle Creek Chambers Military Luncheon. Feeding the homeless. Giving out food at a soup kitchen. Working with Iron Horse Riders at Christmas to ensure all of our veterans at the Haven of Rest are recognized and have a Christmas dinner and a gift at Christmas. These all impact our community, but more importantly, they have a positive impact on all of those involved. Volunteering can help you meet different kinds of people and make new friends. Volunteering is a great place to meet people with common interests. And who knows, maybe you'll meet a new professional connection. With more than a quarter of a working population volunteering, you are likely to run into someone in your industry that can be a future contact. It's also a great opportunity to meet some new friends, to relax and hang out with outside work. Helping grow your social life and balance out your work schedule. While volunteering at an honor flight gathering in Florida, I was assisting a World War II veteran and his spouse into a gathering. The Vietnam veteran, as they always do, or the World War II veteran, as they always do, came up and thanked me for my service and assistance and said he and his lovely wife were celebrating their anniversary today. He smiled. His smile said it all. He was with the love of his life. I asked how long they had been married. I expected at least 50 years. To my surprise, he said, 1 year. Wow. But then I got, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. You see, Ray and Laverne were childhood sweethearts until Ray was drafted and left to World War II. One thing led to another, and they both went separate ways. Until after 50 years later, when they accidentally met up. It was again love at first sight, and they were married just weeks after reuniting. Why do I mention this? What does it have to do with volunteering? Well, I met both Ray and Laverne while volunteering. I sat for an hour listening to both tell their stories. I presently am working to get him back on his honor flight, which was postponed as a result of COVID. We still communicate, and Laverne said he loves telling war stories and bragging about his new marriage. I thought it was such a great story, I solicited a reporter to come by and interview them. These two amazing patriots will be my dear friends for life, and we still communicate frequently. Volunteering can have a real and valuable positive effect on people, communities, and society in general. Of course, volunteer work is doing good for the community around you, but can also make you feel good about yourself at the same time. When you help someone in need or fix a problem, it gives you a sense of accomplishment that can increase your self-confidence tremendously. Feeling this good about you and your accomplishments will motivate you to do more and accomplish more at work. Every time I volunteer at a senior adult living facility and I give a presentation or narrate a flyover, and a World War II veteran comes over and thanks me for remembering and taking time to come and visit, every time I'm asked to present an honorary order to our senior World War II, Korea, and Vietnam era veterans attending an honor flight to Washington, D.C. to honor the monuments built in their honor, it certainly inspires me to continue to make a difference. You don't have to be wealthy or even talented. You just need to be genuine. Way too many of our senior veterans are shut in and forgotten. Working with the community and senior living facilities to ensure they know they will never be forgotten is definitely a personal motivation for me. If you have senior veterans who reside in senior living facilities, let's ensure we come and visit and make sure they feel our love and appreciation for the service and sacrifice. Sign them up for an honor flight. I was asked to speak at a number of these facilities for Veterans Day, but unable as a result of COVID. But with the help of Access Vision and WBCK, they will see and hear my message, which is to ensure they are remembered for their service and sacrifice. Volunteering can help you learn new skills, gain experience, and sometimes even qualifications. Volunteering can also help you develop your professional skills. Communication, project planning, and teamwork are all great skills to have in the professional world. And all three are used in volunteering. Doing voluntary work, you are in constant communication with people, so it's easy to practice your social skills. You can utilize your new and improved skills in the office, right here at the Federal Center, and impress your boss and colleagues. Even with all these reasons I have mentioned, it is important to volunteer and serve others. It's equally, if not more important, for many of our veterans who suffer from PTSD. In a recent article in the U.S. Veterans Magazine, there was a story that was addressed a study of veterans who suffered from PTSD and the impact of volunteering. The study shows volunteering improves mental health in veterans. Participants showed lower rates of PTSD and depression following 6-month volunteer program. Ian Smith served 8 years in the Army and was deployed to Iraq twice before exiting the service. He lived on his couch, often with a pistol in his hand, rarely slept, and relied heavily on alcohol. Smith even seriously contemplated suicide, having pressed the gun to his head on more than one occasion. All that changed when he began to invest himself in volunteer work. He said, "It was the single most important course correction in my life. The entire trajectory of my personal and professional life changed and accelerated faster than I could have ever imagined. I feel that volunteering is the most self-rewarding thing that I've ever done. Serving a purpose greater than myself was the best medicine for me. During this time of uncertainty and despair, the needs of our community are magnified, and the importance of volunteering and serving others can be no greater. I believe in paying forward the outstanding service and support many have given me when I served. America is the greatest nation on earth because we have the men and women who have left the comforts of their home and shipped off to faraway places and served their nation to ensure that we continue to be the land of the free. In honor of all those who have served, words can comfort, but actions can really make a difference. Select a nonprofit that you support. Maybe one that has helped you or your family or friends. Or a neighbor. Or just someone else. Your time is valuable as money. And I promise you, the rewards and satisfaction you will receive will be immeasurable. If you want to help me and others support and serve our veterans, there are a myriad of opportunities. You can reach out to me, and I can get you connected. Some consider entertainers, sport figures, and politicians as their heroes or role models. My heroes are the Gold Star families who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for me, and all the veterans who have afforded me the opportunity to enjoy the freedoms they have fought for me to enjoy. Again, every day is Veteran Day for me. I normally would say the next time you see a veteran wearing proudly a hat or a shirt designating the service or conflict she or he served, reach out your hand and thank him or her for the service and sacrifice. But I guess with COVID, I would say maintain social distance and just say thank you and do like I do, render them a salute. Again, thank you for inviting me to come back and speak with you today, and for your continued service and sacrifice to this great nation. God bless all our veterans and their families, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.